So boy, cookie cuz.
I'm gonna probably be like this the whole time.
Dude, who cares, man? Who cares? Relax. Get off your freaking high horse. Maybe this is a humbling time. This is a
Dude,
moment to be humbled.
this is bad, man. I gotta get the better light.
It's
Maybe
man
that's
day,
what.
dude.
Dude. Frick. Okay, so we've got to figure some things out. Okay, there's some freaking drama going on between you and I that we got to freaking settle.
Okay. And that is.
You're not showing up to the podcast next week.
Oh my gosh. Shut up.
Oh, I got invited to President's Club. It's not even freaking President's Club, dude.
It's not
It's
even
not even
President's
that
Club.
good, man.
No, that's not even it at all.
I gotta look at myself. And what does it look like?
You're
live
fine,
stream,
dude. You're fine. Don't
No,
worry
I
about
feel.
it. This is a podcast.
Have you ever watched the movie Hitched with Will Smith?
Yeah.
And remember the moment that he got his whole face was like he had what seafood, and they're like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
think you're allergic to seafood." And then he's like, "No, it's not that bad." And then he looks at himself in the mirror, and he's like, "Oh, that's me right now."
It's because
That's
it's
literally
your own self-perception.
it's so big. This is big ball right here, all because of a canker sore. All because of a canker sore, dude. That's all it is, and I don't understand.
Oh,
It's the
man.
worst feeling ever. I don't know what to do.
Oh man, dude, you'll be fine. Relax.
No.
Us thicker guys have fat cheeks all the time, and we have to deal with it.
But the thing is, as well, I was telling you this before.
You
It's
sound
just
like you freaking like. Oh, I haven't ate in a day. There's people out in this freaking world that haven't eaten in weeks.
please
Relax.
It's a freaking.
You're one
It's a
day into
freaking
this.
lie.
You're one day into this. It's probably all that freaking beer you're drinking probably doesn't help.
Tyler told me I can't be drinking any more beer. I was like, "Don't tell me what to do. I got the freaking pod tonight.
Get the bud and
I got the freaking party tonight." Yeah. Well. Oh man, it's been rough couple days with this whole thing, man.
Yeah, Regan went to the dentist last night.
I went to dude. I am
For a canker sore.
yeah.
What a loser.
Thanks, dude. I love it.
My canker sore. I gotta go to
It's
the dentist.
probably the word. It was horrible. I was in so much pain. Never been in so much pain there was that time with my freaking tooth when I had that cracked tooth.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
That thing hurt like crap. And but like
Have you put in salt on your canker sore?
no, it kind of feels like a snail. What do you call those? Slug.
Leech.
Like a slug. It kind of like feels like I have like this big old slug in my mouth, and just it's just like, get out of here, get out of freaking town.
All because of a canker sore.
Yeah, dude. I
You know, so-
freaking
you know,
hate.
freaking, you know how freaking
Let me see if you can
childish
see it.
that
Let's see if you can
sounds?
see it. I know.
Oh god. Oh gosh. I can't see it.
It's like really up there. It's like in between my
Mhm.
gums and my in between my gums and my cheek. And
I think I see it all the way up there. I can't see it. I think I see it. I think I saw a little.
I don't know. They tried to take a pic. Also, the so we we don't really have insurance right now.
What?
No,
No dental insurance?
well, we had to pay out of pocket.
So wait, what? Why don't you have insurance?
Well, my work doesn't really provide it, and then Tyler, it was before. I don't know. We've been just kind of going off of the state insurance, and they don't. They didn't. The place we went to doesn't provide the or doesn't accept that insurance, I guess.
Okay.
So we had to pay out of pocket pretty much for this. And I was thinking I'm gonna have to pay thousands for this whole procedure now. I'm gonna have to be real like I'm already trying to figure out our finances right now. As I'm taking over. Oh golly, dude. I keep biting my freaking cheek talking and everything. But my wife and the nurse started to freaking argue about the the bill. And I was like, all right, guys, hang on.
Why?
We'll
why
figure
were
it
they
out.
arguing about
Well,
the bill?
we paid for a checkup as well as a x-ray, $180. Then I told the
Aw.
nurse, like, yeah, I think it's my wisdom tooth. And she's like, oh, well, that's going to be another x-ray. That's going to be a different x-ray. So you're going to have to pay $170 for that. So I'm like, so then we're like, okay, well, shouldn't we get a refund or like our 180 go towards that? And they're like, no, that's not how it is. That's not. And it was going to get really heated in there. And luckily we didn't have to do that. We only had to pay like the $180 for the thing. And
Why did you think it was your wisdom teeth?
because I haven't got my wisdom teeth removed. And every time I've always gone to the dentist, they're like, oh, yeah, you need to get your wisdom teeth removed. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's probably why your teeth are so crowded at the bottom.
crowded?
They're pushed together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how your teeth are supposed to be.
No, they're not.
I mean, there's a little gap in them, but they're
Nope. Your
supposed to be
teeth are like
together.
your teeth are like angled in, dude. Your bottom teeth. Look at that. Heck yeah, dude. I can see it. Hold up. Let me get my orthopedic brother on the call who deals with this freaking crap.
Oh, you want to get an orthopedic person on their line?
Yeah,
I'll get my freaking nurse who actually went to school and learns about the actual human body.
It's
and you know what? I'll get her. I will get her. You know what? Actually, Tyler's aunt is an actual. She's a dental person.
You're at kickball. You got like 5 minutes?
No, he does not.
You want to hop on our podcast real quick?
Can you give him send him the link I gave you?
Just really quick. It's for the pod, man. Come on. Okay, good.
Oh gosh. Tell him he's got to go.
I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook.
Oh gosh, dude.
I just sent it to you, so you should be able to click it and open it.
Well, Kirk made the top. Oh, he was 99 last year, but now he's 42 for 2023.
Ooh.
Kirk
Cousins. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
That's big. But the sad thing about that whole thing is that Justin Jefferson doesn't even put him in his top 5. I mean, I get it's the honesty, but it's like a team thing, you know? Like, I really trust my quarterback. And I was like, it's kind of sad. Didn't even wasn't even the top 5.
Hi, Scarlett.
Just be in the top 5. What the frick is going on with
Scarlett?
Is Facebook working?
So you should be able to join, right?
Is Facebook on?
You're in the pod? Regan, he's in the pod.
No, I don't see him on the freaking pod.
We don't see you, man.
Is he trying to chat? What is he trying to do?
Did you click the link I sent you? You click the link I sent you.
Yeah, he's a freaking loser.
Okay, fine. Regan, show Riley your teeth. I was telling him his bottom teeth look crowded because he hasn't gotten his wisdom teeth removed. Lift up your.
Lift up what? What do you want me to do?
Show him the front of your bottom teeth, and then. Yeah. Do you see his teeth, Riley?
They look crooked though because of my.
You said what? You said what about his bottom teeth?
Oh yeah, they're just so crowded.
They're what? What'd you say, Riley?
No, he did get it.
He did not.
It looks like it. You always have people. You bring in people who have these huge bias for you. That's the thing.
He was literally a. All right, thanks for.
You bring in these people like your wife, or your brother.
My brother was it. Yeah, I bring in.
You just bring in people that have just biases.
Credible
for you.
sources.
That's
credible
your brother's
sources.
not that credible of a source.
You were just about to bring your wife in.
For what?
You just said I'm gonna bring my wife nurse in.
Right, because you're bringing. Yeah, because you're bringing in. You see what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
You're just mad. Oh man, you're just so mad.
No, what I'm saying. Wisdom teeth don't make your teeth more crowded. Oh.
Oh man.
That's so interesting. Oh golly. I freaking hate this, man. I am not happy. I apologize to the viewers tonight for my.
If you look at Regan's cheek there, he's got like a canker sore.
Right here. It looks like I gained a lot of weight.
No, it doesn't.
Have wisdom. Interesting how that works. Huh, Isaac, you are so wise. If I
Dude, you look fine.
It's just there's fat Regan, skinny Regan. Fat Regan, skinny Regan. It's just that's my
Fat
life
Matt?
now. I'm
Fat Matt. Fat Matt.
Please, you're working out.
Fat
Stick
Matt.
with your left side for now. Thanks, Isaac.
Look at that. Look at the audacity of this child. Look at the audacity. He's complaining that his cheek's a little swollen.
Yeah, dude.
Get freaking used to it, man. Us fat people have to deal with it every day of their freaking lives.
Please. You don't even know what I'm going through. Is your face swollen? No.
Yeah, always. It's always swollen.
That's not swollen. That's called gargle some salt water.
Told you.
That I don't know. Does that work? I don't know if that is for canker sores.
What I've done, yeah. I get canker sores all the time. You actually put salt on it, and then you can gargle salt water. There's one of two ways to do it. Do you want my unprofessional opinion on how I've gotten rid of my canker sores?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Do you want my unofficial, unprofessional way of getting rid of my canker sores that I get?
What's that?
Because I get them all the time, like right here on the inside here. And then I have gotten a couple up here and back. Is all freaking best way I've heard is to get rid of them is to grow up. Yeah, freaking grow up, child. Is I'll take my toothbrush and I'll take the bristles and I'll just
really?
Yeah, and then I take mouthwash and I just and it freaking sucks. And then I'll do that's after I've done salt and gargled salt water. It sucks, but it makes it feel better and goes away quicker.
Interesting. I think that's what I did the very first night. I was just grabbing my finger and just rubbing it on it. But I'll do the bristle thing.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Oh, it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
I know. It was sucked on freaking Saturday night when the whole thing was going down. I'm like, oh gosh, like
On Saturday night.
yeah, dude, it was Saturday for Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning when I got
Oof.
home. Yeah, it was
Oof.
freaking bad, dude. It was freaking bad.
So after you went to the movies with me,
Yeah, it was.
what happened?
Nothing crazy, you know. Just boys hanging out, you know.
Just a bunch of boys being boys.
You know, nothing crazy. Nothing like nothing. We weren't doing anything crazy. We just maybe doing a little
Nothing that anybody else was doing.
doing a little jerk off.
Yeah, we were freaking jerking it last week on Saturday.
Oh gosh, I gotta go share our stuff on Insta.
Freaking ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a dilemma here. So next week, football starts. For those of you who don't know, I coach football at Crown College. So football starts on standard jerk off, very standard. So I got football and it starts next Monday, and I've got to go immediately from work into football practice. Or not football practice. It's the first day, so we're doing like meetings and stuff. So I'm not going to be here next week, unfortunately. I'm not going to be here next week. So we are going to try to get a fill-in or a special guest. We're going to try to figure it out. A buddy from a podcast that some of you might know from the Infinity Bros podcast, the Infinity Bros. We're gonna reach out and see if any of them are free. They'll be fun to have on the pod, and we'll just kind of make it a boys' night of funness. You know, probably won't be talking about too much, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So my wife just offered. She said she would fill in. Oh God, thanks, Kaylee. We really appreciate it. Actually, I wouldn't mind having Kaylee on the podcast. Filling in for me. I would have to teach her how to set it up or whatever, but it's really simple.
It's so freaking hard.
It's so hard on my end.
Especially when you have a kinker store like me.
How'd you get that canker sore, man? Man.
Just
it was like he was with me. He was with me, no canker sore. He left me, then there was a canker sore. And
it was a long night, dude. It was
ladies and freaking gentlemen, Regan and I, we finished a freaking project this weekend.
Oh, baby, do you got some pics?
Man. Yeah, I got some pics, dude. I got some freaking pics. Let me pop it up here.
Yes.
We freaking finished a project this weekend. Regan and I, we have like 9 projects in the works. It's so stupid.
Oh gosh,
we're a bunch of idiots.
Are you gonna?
Yeah,
you're just sending it on there so you
show.
can share your screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see. Let's pull it up here.
Oh gosh.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, Regan and I, we freaking created a fire pit in my backyard.
Oh wait, yeah. What if that is a good cut? Let's do that. Hang on, real quick. T2. Oh, we could have T2 and me next freaking Monday, dude.
No.
Dude, I would be so down. What a party. What would we do it on? That's the question.
What would we wear?
But what would I wear? Ah, dude.
I don't know, man. I have no problem letting my brother on. So let's talk about my brother for a second, so that way people have some context as to why I may be a little bit fearful. My brother's got autism.
Are you afraid because he has autism?
Nope. I was burping. I was mid burp when I said that.
Oh, okay.
So my brother's got autism, and he's kind of off the cuff. That he's a little off the cuff and says just about anything on his mind.
That's what we need.
Oh, here we
dude.
go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Gosh, don't
Oh
even-
yeah,
Oh,
the
gosh,
boys,
dude. I am.
the freaking boys. Look at that. Oh,
no.
look at the dad bods.
Oh, please.
Hey, I will say, we tanned that day. It was hot.
It was so freaking.
It was so friggin' hot. We were. This was. I mean, we were out there for probably 2.5, 3 hours just working on it.
Dude, freaking hard.
We were going hard, and it was hot. I'm amazed that after listening only once, that I haven't been asked to join. Yeah, I know, only one time. You haven't been asked. Dang.
You know what, Isaac? You wouldn't be the first. Some people haven't even listened to it and demand
Have
to
asked.
be on to be on. So,
Yeah, at least you've listened and you've communicated. But yeah, so talking about my brother for a second, he's got autism. He says basically whatever the heck is on his mind. So
Mhm.
I don't know what he'll say. And it's not even that like I think he'll talk crap about me. I think he's got a cursing problem, for an example.
yeah.
And he'll go on a rant of cursing. So I don't know. I would have to talk to him about it. So it's an option. We'll see. It would be funny. He is funny, but it's very vulgar funny.
That's what I think would make it such a great guest, because I feed off of Trevor so well. If maybe maybe a story to explain,
story?
a little story. Back in the old college days with Matthew,
Send it.
what and Trevor came and stayed with Matthew. Trevor likes to talk a little smack. He's all bark, but no
No action.
but no action, right? And was I texting you, or was I think I was texting you,
I don't remember.
but it ended up where I told Trevor he can't beat me in a fight, and he's like, no. So I run over to Matthew's apartment, or little
I think you were in class
townhome.
or something.
Something like that. No, I thought it was at nighttime. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
And then I jump in and I just take off all of my clothes except my underwear. Like, let's wrestle, Trevor. And I convinced Trevor to wrestle me in his underwear. And I freaking wrestle him. And yeah, that's just one story of just me feeding off of Trevor.
Tell him about the mistress.
Oh, we also convinced, one of my things was convincing him. Well, I just love convincing Trevor of things that aren't really real.
Peanut butter
Yep.
falcon!
Yeah, it really is like and we convinced him that this girl was obsessed with him, and she wanted, I don't know if this is the story you were thinking of. I think it's a different one, because we've done so many things with Trevor. So we convinced him that this girl was really liked him so much that we convinced him to go over and knock on her door and start a whole conversation. It was great. It was I don't know, one of those memories that sticks with you.
He's like standing at her front door. And he just
Yeah.
doesn't know.
I also convinced him I was gay and I was falling in love with him, and he then blocked me. I haven't talked to him in years. I don't know. It's been a while since I talked to him.
He's been out of the loop a little bit with things. He's a good sport though. He's a good sport. He's just gonna be a little off the cuff. I think it'll work. He'll be here on Wednesday, but we'll see what happens. We got to figure out. We have to have a topic for him to talk about, because if not, then it's just gonna be a friggin' random.
Should I
we
take
gotta
him
have
to a movie?
You could take him to a movie if you want.
What movie is going? I was talking to Axel about a movie. What movie? Oh, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie is coming out this weekend.
Oh, he would love that, dude. He would
Yeah, wow,
love
we'd
that.
have to. He can drive, right? Totally. So,
No, he can't. No, he tried. So, a funny story. We were at my other brother, his wife's parents' house in Texas, and they have an ATV. And my brother and I were like trying to teach Trevor how to drive, and we were like, "Okay, Trevor, just gently push on the gas, just gently,
no.
not hard." But he doesn't have like the concept of what's hard and what's not hard. So he just he freaking sends it. Oh, no, my headset.
Oh gosh, dude.
So he sends it, and so we were like,
got him.
just hit on the brake slowly. Hit on the brake slowly. Well, he didn't know what hitting on the brake slowly means, so he we're almost face into the front of the the console of the car, or of the ATV.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
Because he just slams on the brakes.
Oh gosh.
And he's got no. It was so funny. Like I really thought we were about to die. That was the funniest part. But yeah, so he does not drive. So we would have to figure it out. What day does TMNT come out?
I think it's this second.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's
It says
the
tomorrow.
first. Is it?
That's what I'm saying
Wow.
here.
Well, it's past our time to get this thing.
Oh yeah. Thing going.
So yeah, let's get this bad boy going. Let's get this bad boy rolling. Here we go. I gotta go live. Intro. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Goof and Goober Show. You decide who's the goof and who's the goober. Join Matthew and Regan as they talk all things from their own personal life questions to reviews on movies and TV shows. Now, your hosts, Regan and Matthew.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the Goobs, the GG Nation. Guys, welcome to the pod. It has been a week. It's been a wild week. And there's some things to talk about, some crazy things to talk about that needs to be talked about. But introducing me, I am Regan Dvorak, your host, your favorite host of all of the Goof and Goober Show. But joining me tonight, as always, my right-hand man, the man in charge. He is here. He's always here most of the time, except for next week. Matthew freaking Leather.
Let's go!
Oh,
Are you ready to rumble?
Matthew, how are you? How are you doing?
Man, dude, today was a good day. Okay.
Yeah?
Let me tell you something.
Give me the deets.
I got some stuff done today. I got some freaking stuff freaking done. Okay.
All right.
You want to know what? You want to know what I did?
What'd you get done?
You want
What'd
to
you get done?
You want to know what I did? So, I freaking paid off a bunch of freaking crap today.
Ooh,
A bunch of freaking crap today.
Bunch of freaking crap. Paid it
I
off.
freaking paid this. Okay, so I've got this guy. Okay, this guy. He's kind of an idiot, and he essentially I'll ask him, hey, you want to help me with this project?
Yeah,
And he'll be like, oh yeah, dude, I can totally do that.
it sounds
And
like a
then
nice
he'll
guy. That's
start
what it
it.
sounds like.
He'll start it, and I'll be like, oh, I gotta pay you because that's just how I am. And he like starts the projects, but then he doesn't finish them. Well, this weekend we freaking finished the projects.
It sounds like you might have finished some other projects that you're not like you're undermining right now. Maybe like, did you put those shelves up behind you? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I did those all by myself.
All by
Thank
yourself?
you for asking.
Oh,
Thank you for asking.
I you know what?
And then
totally
also
misunderstood.
I've got my this Saturday, me and my guy, for those of you who don't know, the friggin' idiot, it's Regan. We friggin' finished a fire pit outside
We got it
my
going,
backyard.
man.
Yep. It took us about 2 months
Yep.
in time from the start of the project to the end of the project to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
We did he's been at my house for like the past 3 Saturdays in a row.
Yeah.
But before that was like every other essentially. So we got the project done, and I had to pay that guy. Had to freaking pay on my freaking credit card. Had to freaking pay on my roof because I got to freaking pay my roof.
Oh god.
Had to freaking pay my mortgage. I had to pay freaking everything.
Yeah, dude.
Everything.
That's
And
what
I'm
happens,
freaking going to Miami this week.
dude.
Oh,
Which is a update on the Goof and Goober. Next week, we will have a special guest. So stay tuned. If you were here for the pre-show, you know who it's going to be. So thanks for showing up for the pre-show. If you're not here and you're listening on Google Play, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, or Podbean, whatever that one is, thanks for listening, first off. Second thing is be here 8 p.m. on Mondays. We're freaking live. We're freaking going at it. We're freaking killing it right now. Also, if you're watching this and you're like, what the heck is wrong with Regan's face? It's a kinker sore. So screw off. Okay. I'm
actually,
really,
you know, the crazy thing is nobody actually asked.
I know people are asking. I know it.
Nobody asked.
Yeah, nobody asked. Kaylee. Anyways,
Nobody asked.
yeah, seriously. So big news, guys. This is something I have been pondering. It's been on my mind, and I'm trying to kind of wrap my mind around this. And Matthew, maybe we can talk a little bit about this before we get into the Haunted Mansion.
Ooh.
Which is what we'll be talking about tonight. But this is the one thing that I did want to talk to you. It's kind of making its way around the world right now because it is a big deal. It's a big new discovery. And that is that aliens are real. Have you heard about this?
No.
You
Fill me
haven't?
No.
You have, haven't
I
you?
have not.
You
I have not.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring up the videos that there was a hearing whistleblower that's allegedly the U.S. government is let me share my screen, allegedly covering up Blurry Creatures podcast. Oh gosh, I gotta find the right one though. Yeah, and I want to find the one where
The ground.
no, no, no.
Fractals
It's
all
real serious.
around. Oh,
I don't know why it's like
this stuff has been going on for years. Exactly. Area 52. Ever heard of that?
okay. Do you believe in aliens though, Matthew? Let me ask you that. Let me.
Oh.
That's a good question. I need to know.
It's a very good question because here's the thing. Area 52. All right. Area 52. Everybody knows that's where all the crazy thing happened.
Mhm.
Everybody friggin' knows. It's the other
Mhm.
secret site. So to answer your question about aliens, I like to put it into this scenario. Like, do I think that there are other beings out in this universe? There's a shot. There's a shot. I mean, I
Mhm.
imagine that maybe there is. There's a very good possibility there is. But if there was, then read Genesis 6. Okay.
I'm pulling it up.
What verse exactly? Genesis 6 is definitely a wide variety. Wickedness in the world.
We could do that. You want to? I mean, Matthew, keep going with your point though. I want to hear what you have to say before we get to Genesis.
I feel
6 and
like
all that stuff.
there would be more evidence of aliens if we, but by now, since I'm one of those skeptics that doesn't think that the moon landing might not have happened back in the day. It could have been faked. So mine's all hypothetical at this point. If we actually landed on the moon and we are actually traveling the universe as much as we say we have, there's a shot we've found something at some point. And for there not to be evidence presented to the public, then it would lead me to believe that they're not real at this point. Now, there's also the side of me that's like, well, the government could also hide things like they do all the time and hide things from the public on purpose, which then again kind of points to my hunch that the moon landing wasn't real and that we didn't actually make it to space. Just because nowadays anything could be faked.
Right. Well, I'm with you in the skepticism. I mean, like, there's a lot of things that I'm like now like very skeptical about because I think I'm being more like I can't trust anything. There's nothing in this world like I really need to make sure that it's true and I really need to have that verification. And one thing is that over and over the government shows that they cannot be trusted. And so that's kind of the thing where you're like, okay, the moon landing, that's one thing that I'm like, yeah, it could be I don't necessarily know. We could have, but we also couldn't have, because I've seen a lot of things where like they show the videos where they think they did like a mock-up or a recording in a like tank and all that stuff, and you can see like the bubbles and everything like that.
Well, you gotta think, when was the moon landing? When was the moon landing? The 70s? 60s?
I think it was like
1969.
Yeah.
69.
69. And that's crazy if we did go to the moon at that age, and we haven't even been back since then. We haven't gone to the moon. Like, technically, we haven't. Yeah.
They haven't gone to the moon.
Yeah, they haven't gone to the moon since. And they're planning on it. They're saying they're planning on it. We'll see. But I don't know. And that's kind of the weird thing that you have to be. I don't know.
My thing is a lot of these things could be faked, and they have a lot of money to fake things. Like,
right, but it's
you will go and watch the movie Interstellar. You could in 20, 30 years, you could forget about the movie Interstellar and say, yeah, we actually did this.
But that's the thing. Like, it was in 1969. Yeah.
But we've been to Mars.
well, yeah, we've sent things to Mars, and
but not the moon.
but yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm skeptical about the thing, but get back to what I originally wanted to talk about was the aliens. Is this like
The rover isn't on Mars? I thought we landed on Mars.
it might be another thing? I've never heard of this, but like
Watch
I
NASA's Perseverance rover land on Mars. We should have asked Nick this question because he actually. worked for
I should
NASA.
ask. He does follow that very closely. He's watched, and I know he does. One of my friends, my good friends, who has been on the podcast.
Oh, it's
before,
on Mars. It's
yeah,
on Mars.
yeah, he can verify it. He actually worked in NASA and everything that they do there. So I don't know if he.
I don't
Who
think
knows?
he's saying that he can verify it, but he's gonna give us a more honest opinion versus what
About
you
what-
read in the news.
I mean, I think they do work on everything at NASA, and I mean, I went to NASA and I toured the whole thing, and I don't know, it's weird, and I don't know. I agree, it is kind of I don't know. It's a whole that's a whole nother conversation that I didn't really want to get in. Well, I guess that we're kind of getting into. Screw you, man. Yeah, but
hope you feel insecure.
thank you. About the aliens. Okay, so and if we actually found life outside of Earth, how is that going to change society as we know it? Because that means inhuman people are coming out from wherever into onto our planet, basically.
Mhm.
And who knows if it's a sphere or flat Earth, you know what I mean? And what I'm trying to figure out is if they, yeah,
Hmm.
right. As I think I agree. People should be asking more about the purpose and why they were created. But like that, yeah, that creates a whole new perspective of life, I think, for people. And the whole creation of people, because that, I don't know, that's like the technology for sure is going to have to change because we're going to adapt to their technology if they have technology to bring them across galaxies. And who knows how far the freaking galaxies are really, because I don't know how you can actually measure. Yeah. I don't know how you could actually measure the whole galaxy and determine, okay, this is how far.
I think
it
it's
is.
a guess. It's got to be.
It really is a guess. It really is. But I mean, that's the whole thing. Is just like, okay, then where's this person coming from? Where's this alien guy coming from? And who knows?
Isn't there people that? Isn't it crazy how people think? Like you got to think space goes on forever, essentially. Space is forever. You keep going, there's more space. Right? The farther you go out, the more space there is. That there's not a God controlling space. There's people who don't believe in God when there's all this space. Where do you think that space came from?
Oh,
So stupid.
it's stardust, man.
We know more about space than we do the ocean. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. That's ridiculous. But it's true.
We can't.
I mean, I feel like the ocean is like space, though. I mean, you can get to a
that's where
point
they
where it just
technically train.
literally, you could go, like when you get into to the ocean, you can keep going down and probably never stop at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much. It just keeps going. Imagine how
Well-
many ships are in the ocean. Just at
Just
the bottom.
sitting there, just sitting
Dead-
at the bottom there.
Dead animals. At the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really. We got to get Isaac on the friggin' pod. That is some friggin'
He's
deep
asking
stuff.
some good questions, man.
That's some really good stuff, Isaac.
He goes, isn't that how we are as people too? We tend to find out more about the other
care
than
more
we
about
are
what
willing
others are
to
doing.
than
Yeah, it's
what
the-
we are to ourselves. Preach it, brother, preach it.
But that's the whole thing
Ah.
with. I mean, biblical thing is take the log out of your own eye before you tell your brother how about the speck in his eye or whatever. That whole parable. And so,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I completely agree. We as human are designed to care more about other people's problems than even our own. And that is kind of, you can drift through life without having to deal with your own problems because you are technically blaming others for your own problems, and you have no responsibilities. You don't have to take any responsibilities. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a weird kind of thing I wanted to talk about because it's been on my mind, and I was sleeping. I was laying in bed last night and I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, what does it mean if there are aliens now? What does that mean for us as a world? Is polarized? Our political system polarized, Isaac? I had no idea. But I was just sitting there looking at the stars, and I'm like, man, what is going to happen now if we start believing and really accepting? Like, it's kind of like the alien wrench being thrown now is clearly covering a lot up. Oh yeah. They for sure are covering a lot up for sure. I don't know that. I had a freaking point I really wanted to touch on with this alien thing is, when we as I don't know just how this is going to happen. Like, are we going to be peaceful? Are we going to, wage war? Obviously, we probably knocked down this spaceship that was in humanic whatever.
I think it's
Here,
funny because I like that you bring up aliens because you're afraid of aliens. So does them bringing this stuff up freak you out?
Yeah. Well,
Are you gonna
if
go?
you haven't,
Are you gonna start making like a bunker, or are you gonna use your basement as a bunker?
dude, I
You think we
might.
could-
Dude, I was
Dude,
actually
use that
watching.
back room.
I was actually watching today on how to go off grid because Tesla has like these solar shingles that you can add on your roof. It's like $100,000 basically to put these things on, and then but like it basically pays for itself. Like, you don't have to pay really anything in electricity. Really, I mean, and it's completely off grid. You can totally live off of it. And like the guy also had like a Tesla car, which like that took up a lot of electricity. You rely on big bro. Yeah, Elon, my big boy. It was just the video I was watching. It was completely Tesla solar panels, but he was saying that there's a bunch of different companies that have the shingle solar
Gazpacho.
panels.
Gazpacho.
Gazpacho, what is that?
The gazpacho.
What is that?
It's a dish. It's a food dish. Gazpacho.
Oh, I've heard that
wanna see
theory, Isaac, that Elon's an alien. I don't know. There's a let's see it.
You want to see what a gazpacho is?
I follow a what is it? Conspiracy theories people, and they do all the flat Earth stuff. Oh gosh. Oh baby.
Yeah, it's like a soup.
Yeah.
Well,
dude,
it is a soup. But
We'll bring you on, Isaac, because you're the freaking man. We gotta get that. We gotta get Isaac on one of these days. Bring him on. Have a good time.
Baby.
Oh baby, when you talk like that, you make a man. But here, let's real quick. I said I was gonna show you this, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you this here, but it's like a 48-second clip here. Check it out.
I believe we have crashed craft. Stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these discoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Thank you, USA Today. Wow, you guys really freaking nailed it. You guys are so good. So there it is. He is on what do you call it? On not trial, but he's son of a biscuit. What is it? He's under oath. That's what I'm saying. He's under oath saying this. And so yeah. Testify. And
I mean, this is the problem. You and I both know, we've watched videos where people are clearly lying or extrapolating the truth to essentially either mislead or misguide the individual. And usually most people like what's his name? Republican. He's from Texas. Gosh, what is his name?
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. He can usually sniff out that stuff. And most people can sniff out when people are lying or they're trying to evade the answer by trying to say some of the truth without giving the full answer, which is not the truth to the question, if that makes sense. And the fact that she didn't combat it and combat the question or the answer kind of tells me that she feels that he was being genuine in his response, that it was non-human material, that maybe it is an alien.
Okay, but then here's my question too with this whole thing, because we can take it back to a biblical point of view, because we can go to the base Cain and Abel ages, Adam and Eve, Abraham is what I'm saying. They had the type of maybe that's what it is the Nephilim. Genesis 6. That's what Isaac was talking about. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Yep. Genesis 6:4.
So that's what you think that is?
Oh no. Oh no.
Goof and Goober Show. What is up?
He's
Your number
here.
one super
This-
fan.
Oh
Back on the
gosh.
stream. What's up?
Nick, speaking of the devil, the man, have you been listening in on the conversation?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to join.
Are you doing laundry right now?
That's why I wanted to join and offer my 2 cents, if I may.
Okay. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead. Nick.
Go ahead.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, I think that there should be age limits in Congress. I agree with you guys.
What age limit, Nick?
I would say probably under 30, because that way everyone would be really trendy. They would always like look cool and know all the lingo, but not get too old, right?
Now, Nick, it's probably, I'm assuming you hacked the system to get on the podcast. Which bravo to you, being the man you are of many talents. Now, Nick,
Yeah, I mean, really, I was just kind of following up on the job interview.
We're still in discussion of
okay.
possible applicancies.
Nick,
That's fair. Sometimes it does just take like a month to deliberate and think about that. I guess.
Okay, Nick,
You just hope that your candidates in the meantime are not looking into other things as they're kind of in the gray.
Okay, well, Nick, real quick, there is a big debate going on what we're talking about right now.
Oh yeah.
You pay attention to the news, I'm assuming, and later this week, a whistleblower came before Congress and testified under oath that the U.S. has found non-human pilots during a UFO hearing.
Yeah.
You being from NASA and being in that
Formerly,
not currently, but formerly. What do you have to testify about this on live air?
without incriminating yourself, obviously.
Obviously.
Um,
Do you believe in
Actually,
aliens?
Hold up. Before we get into this, Nick, please be careful. I don't want you to get like an NDA or something, or like breaking something like that. So please be careful.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I left the federal government, I did sign an agreement that's like an NDA. So there's certain kinds of things I can't say too much on, and I will say,
Well, I did not that he. No, I'm not saying he signed. Like, I know he signed one, but I'm saying just be careful to not break it. Is what I'm saying. 'Cause
Yeah.
for
we're
sure.
on live.
Yeah. Yeah. Was
Go
that a
ahead,
real
Nick.
dog or a dog sound effect?
That was a real.
That
dog.
was a real dog. That was Rousey.
Cool. I would say that it's a shocking testimony. Very interesting to hear.
Do you personally, Nick, believe in aliens?
I
Like I said,
I'm
you
not
don't
allowed to
like.
say.
Yeah, okay. You can't say. Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
so you're not
that's
allowed to
fine.
say.
It's the official policy of NASA that we have no knowledge of extraterrestrials.
Okay.
And so this testimony, as you may or may not have heard, did
Mhm.
not reference NASA.
Right.
But of course, it didn't reference NASA. We
Okay.
like we're not dumb as to why it didn't reference
Yeah.
NASA. Like, come on.
Then my next, I mean, we can go. I don't know, Nick. Thank you for joining, because this is very enlightening. I mean, we don't have to. You're obviously not giving
Just
us
be
any
careful
information.
what you say, please.
Yeah.
we don't
Um,
want him to go to federal prison and be like, "Oh, I was on a podcast and I said on a podcast."
Yeah. And well, my main, I guess, there's a bunch of things we could talk. But what do you think of Genesis 6:4? We were just talking about that with, I don't know if I can't, because I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't know. or anything like that. Where the Nephilim were on the earth in those days. Do you think this is a reference to kind of like, I mean, obviously these are, I mean, technically speaking, dictionary, they are aliens because they're outside of Earth. And, but
I've actually got a better question.
All right, go ahead.
From you going and being in NASA, did it push you towards Christianity being in NASA, or did it pull you away from Christianity?
So that's actually a very good question. I actually could have a long answer to this if you want to. I'll try to keep it short though. I was already a Christian going into working at NASA, and it's actually a big part of the reason why I accepted the job offer at NASA is I had the opportunity to help lead a Bible study of NASA interns, and in that Bible study, through a long series of events, we had the chance to invite some astronauts to the Bible study and share both their testimony as a Christian. So how did you become a Christian? What's that been like? And then how did you become an astronaut? What that's been like. And for the crew members who have already been assigned a mission and flown, we asked them, what has it been like being a Christian in space? And there's a lot of, I think, really cool anecdotes I could share from that time. I probably met about 6 astronauts, and at least one or two of them remembered me by my first name when I saw them on site later. Which is kind of neat. But I think that NASA as an agency, their goal and their vision is to explore. It's one of the primary reasons they still exist, and to push the boundaries of where we've been and what we know about the universe. And I think in the same way, that's kind of my view of being a Christian, is to have a strong curiosity about the natural world, with the view that God created all of it. And to understand God's creation is to understand him as a creator better. And despite all of this, when you look at in scripture, you could ask the question, what is the pinnacle of all of God's creation? Is it the oceans? Is it the fields? Is it space? Is it the cosmos? Is it the stars? Is it other planets, other galaxies, other phenomena that we don't even know about yet outside of our galaxy? These other planets, is like, what is it? And I think it's pretty clear that it's people, and that we, being made in the image of God, are the only thing in the entire universe that reflects his character in a unique and special way. And so I think in a lot of ways, NASA aims to explore the beauty of the universe. And because I was a Christian going into work at NASA, that helped me get a better grasp and a better lens for that, and to cherish God's creation and him as a creator even more through that. One of the astronauts I became friends with was Kjell Lindgren. So by the time I met him, he had been on the ISS for one expedition, so that's like 6 months, and he's a strong Christian. He tells the story of on the weekends, they get, usually like Saturday and Sunday, like they do very minimal or no work, like science experiments, so they kind of have some free time. And what Kjell liked to do on his free time is read. And he brought a Bible on the ISS, and he was telling us a story of, as he was on the ISS, he was going through a devotional. And so one day he went over to, it's a part of the space station called the cupola, which is, I think it's Italian for window. It's just a window. And the way the orbit of the ISS works is outside of this window, it's like a giant window, like a couple people could fit in. And because of the orbit, this window is always facing Earth. It's the view you see at all times. And so he explains to us, he's going through this devotional, and he decided to read his Bible in this area. And what was on his reading plan for that day was Psalm 19:1. And Psalm 19:1 is the sky, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies claim the work of his hands. And he just shared with us, and then he read that in his Bible. You can imagine like reading it in front of you, and then just like looking up and to be able to see the entire earth outside of this window, and to look at all of the creation that most people know and love and experience, and to say that that is a reflection of God, the Creator, and it is good, it is beautiful. I think it's kind of it's a really cool level up of the concept of nature declares God's beauty, but that also means the whole earth and everything in it.
Right.
Amen.
No, that's good. The reason why I asked that question is, and I think Isaac, he kind of spells it out, but people like to use space and science and all of these things to try to negate Christianity in a way. But in reality, you being there, you living the experience, right? It pulls you closer to Christ because you realize that this is real. Like this is something that like no other thing could take away the beauty of God, right? Like I remember there was this one time where I was just driving and I was like upset about something, and I just look up, and all it was the sun shining in my eyes, and it wasn't like I couldn't see. I could still see, but it was just so powerful that like you knew it was there. I don't know how to explain it. It was very weird, but it was like this is like that's God's creation, and there's nothing in this world that could take away from God's creation. And I think that a lot of time people, as Isaac said in the chat, is that people try to defile who we are as humans, right? The human race, even though we're created in God's image, and the things that we live around were created because of God. And people try to strip that away, and usually, and one of the bigger arguments is obviously using science and space and the Big Bang and aliens to try to say, hey, Christianity is not real because of this, this, and this. So that's why I asked that question. I've always wanted to ask you that. So it's pretty freaking sweet that I get to.
Yeah, that's I mean, in general, I think it's a really, really good question. I think a lot of people have a dichotomy in their mind that I think is false, that says I can't be a scientist or someone who looks deeply at the natural world and also a Christian. And I think there's a lot of apparent, I don't know. I think I kind of see them as like potential barriers or roadblocks for people to understand or live the Christian worldview. But I think in reality that all of those are false, and that truly I think being a Christian helps you enjoy and love the natural world better. And I think the natural world points to a creator and God's. That's actually a student group I was a part of in college. We looked at kinds of topics at that intersection and had weekly discussions on them of people, just anyone who's interested in the topics. And so there's a lot of parts to the question. There's a lot of kinds of places you could go with it. If you'd ever be interested to chat more about specific topics, be happy to share my thoughts. But yeah, in general, I think that there's nothing I've seen in the natural world that I think contradicts Christianity. And I see the opposite. I see the beauty and the intricate nature of how the world is, and to me, it screams a creator.
Right.
Side question: do you ever wish to give like a alien a handshake?
Maybe. Depends.
Would that be cool?
What if they had like tentacles? Might be very fun.
So you're saying they have tentacles? You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. Nick said they got tentacles. You heard it here, folks. Nick said they got tentacles.
That was a unexpected, really good guest to have on here at the Goof and Goober Show. You guys heard it here. We do need to get going on to the actual movie, though. I know. I was gonna ask. I wanted to ask Nick. There's so many questions I do want to ask Nick, but there's like I don't want to like.
It's like being
especially
in the military.
Like
people can't talk about things that they're doing in the military.
I hate that. I freaking hate that. Like that's so it just doesn't help. You know,
Do you remember when I worked at Blizzard and I was game testing the new Call of Duty, but I couldn't
Right.
tell you what the Call of Duty was?
yeah, I didn't think you did. I mean,
I
I
did
could
not
watch
tell
you.
you that.
No,
did
like I
not.
think I remember you did. That's what
No,
I mean.
no, I didn't. I did not tell you.
Definitely did not.
I definitely did not. So on to Haunted Mansion.
This
Ladies and gentlemen.
guys, we were moving on to the movie. We're gonna move on to Haunted Mansion, going from aliens to ghosts. Great freaking
Great segue.
for us. Here we go. Let's just go through let's just give our spoiler right now, because I mean I'm looking at this on IMDb and it's got a 6.3 out of 10 stars. So I don't think too many people are going to care too much about this. But if you guys haven't seen it, and you don't want to get spoiled, and we're going to spoil you guys here. So this is your spoiler warning.
Official spoiler warning.
Official.
Spoilers! Spoiler warning!
Spoiling.
The warnings. We're giving you guys a spoiler warning.
You just
as
got
we speak,
spoiled.
all right? Spoiled? Like,
Don't get
have you ever had spoiled milk, actually? It's so bad.
Gosh, dude.
Oh.
Story about that real quick before we get into this. I was in my truck and my axle is always in the back seat. And I hear something crash. And I had just dropped the axle off. But I look behind me and he had brought in his container of milk and he just left it in my truck. And spoiled milk got all over the side of my truck. I was not happy. Luckily it wasn't like super spoiled, but it was still spoiled. I was like,
you could still smell it.
yeah, it was like, bleh.
Oh.
I have a bunch of stories about spoiled milk. I got in trouble in middle school once for spoiling the milk. Anyways, guys, this is the little description of the Haunted Mansion synopsis. Ow!
Ladies and gentlemen, we went to go see the Haunted Mansion this last week.
Yeah.
I'll read the synopsis because you're
I can't talk, dude. I really can't.
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna
We'll
bite
ask
my
you to
cheek.
talk when we ask you to talk. So for those of you who don't know, this is Disney's second Haunted Mansion movie.
Mhm.
But this isn't like, you know how they have like Ant-Man 1, Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man Quantumania. Technically, it's the third. Or Guardians 1, Guardians 2, Guardians 3. This isn't like that. This is like a completely different story with different characters. And so the synopsis here is that a single mom named Gabby hires a tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a historian to help exorcise her newly bought mansion after discovering it had inhabited by ghosts. It was directed by Justin Simeon. It stars. It's got a pretty good cast. Lakeith Stanfield as Ben Mathis. We got Rosario Dawson as Gabby. We've got Owen Wilson as Father Kent. We've got Tiffany Haddish as Harriet. Danny DeVito as Bruce Davis. And a long laundry list. Jared Leto's in there. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who else?
Chase Dillon, who plays the kid.
Winona Ryder. Who's in
I don't
it?
know is she on there?
She's not on this, but I know she was in it.
I don't know if she was on it, but whatever.
She was in it.
What she played?
She played the tour guide as well as one of the ghosts.
Winona Ryder did? Oh, okay, fine. Why I don't know why she's not on here.
I don't know either, but she was.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give our spoilers. We're gonna talk about the movie. I'll give my spoilers right off the rip here. My at least first look. I'm giving this thing a freaking 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was a really good movie. This was a really good movie for I think Regan and I both are probably going to agree. This was like one of the funniest movies we've seen all year. It's not the funniest, but there was just a lot of good humor in this from Danny DeVito and some like not not crude humor, but like almost like Dumb and Dumber humor, where it's just kind of like stupid or or dry humor, which we
Mhm.
really enjoyed. I thought it was hilarious. It wasn't very scary. There was a couple parts where you're just like, oh, okay, that was pretty scary, but overall, it wasn't a very scary movie, which is good. And it is personally, I do recommend it. I think a kid can go and see this and be just fine. I think Axel could have gone and watched this and,
I agree.
and been just fine. So, overall,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, with Axel, I told him like, hey, you want to go see this movie? Because I thought this is a total movie you could go see. He's like, no, I'm going to be too scared, because I think the previews make it seem like a really, really scary movie. The previews make it seem like this is a scary movie. Don't bring your kids, which I think they could have done better with the marketing for this movie. I mean, they got Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito, who are two guys that are usually commonly in comedy movies, and but I don't know. And previous the 2000, I think it was 2002. This is the previous Haunted Mansion.
Was that really 2002?
I think so.
2003.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
my
close.
heavens.
Eddie Murphy was in that one,
Yeah.
but that one wasn't even like I don't know. That one wasn't that scary. I mean, I don't know.
It's
That
got a
one-
13% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not even.
I don't know. Like let's compare these. Let's compare these. Okay, this is the 2003 trailer for the Haunted Mansion. Okay,
Okay.
this is the 2003. Okay,
Okay, watching it.
You are cordially invited to the historic
I'm not.
Gracie Manor.
But
We got to put ourselves in 2003 mindset.
we got to be in 2003. Oh gosh, how old was I? I was like 8.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was like 9 or 10. They already had a family. But the thing is, what scary movies were coming out in 2003 as well?
Master Gracie
I don't know.
wishes to discuss his affairs
It had to be like
over
Saw,
dinner.
movies like
This
that,
house has a
or
bit of
The Circle.
history to it. And this history haunts these walls.
I don't think it's a good idea to put that information in the listing. People love bathrooms. We should play up the whole toilet angle. I think that'd be best.
Wait,
See,
hold
now-
up. Now I think I redact my statement. Because I hadn't watched this movie. Eddie Gracie. I think this is the same house with the same people.
I mean, yeah, it's the same people, but it's
think
just a
it's-
twist. It's like a whole series. It's not like it's not like they just made it
So
up.
this is
or
like Haunted Mansion 1, and what we watched was Haunted Mansion 2.
anything.
Just different people. as
I feel like
starring.
if they did do that, they should have had Eddie Murphy in this.
Yeah, true.
Like, as like a ghost. I don't know.
From Walt Disney Pictures.
What happened here, Mr. Gracie?
Do you believe in ghosts?
No clue from the past.
She looks like Mom.
That's interesting.
No message from the future.
I am Madame Leota, seer of all.
Ugh.
Oh, that's great. What is that?
Can prepare you
Yeah, see,
for
Madame Leota was in there with the ball too. You know, it's
Yeah.
all kind of.
adventure
Find the key that must be found.
That was easy.
from
So it's
the
just a different
beyond.
iteration.
Hey, I'd really rather stay on the ground. Can I stay on the ground, please?
Because there's like comical things in this that it's like.
It's like an adventure movie with some scare, and with comedy.
Yeah,
Let's stop panicking. I think this was after Shrek
For the
2,
ride.
so we all knew that this was going to be like a donkey type movie.
Some of us are already dead.
and then
Eddie Murphy.
Dark spirits from the grave come forth.
Don't you make no dark spirits come out while I'm sitting there. Wait till I leave before the dark spirits come out.
The Haunted Mansion.
You wait till I leave. Do you bring back Dark
that's what.
Spirits.
Yeah. So then, if we go to just the Haunted Mansion trailer 2020. Oh, not 2022.
Regan.
What?
When my son and I moved in
You typed in
What?
2023 or 2000.
here,
Yeah, but it's the same.
it
This
wasn't
is
as warm as we hoped. Hey, I'm gonna light a vanilla candle, and it's gonna be a game changer. And after midnight, the house comes alive.
This place is haunted!
We need your help.
It's time to
It makes me
assemble
feel like a
dream
Pirates of the Caribbean
We find
type,
someone who can communicate
type
with
thing.
these
Like this
ghosts.
is.
People used to eat here.
I told you she's good.
It's a dining room.
I found a professor who else wanted mansions.
I've been dying to go to this place for years. Mystery lurks around every corner.
I summoned Madame Leota!
I can show you what happened, but it will cost you $3. What?
Wow.
It's highway robbery. Who said that?
That's highway robbery.
You're not that scary. You're really not. You're pretty terrifying. Can you turn it around just while I finish this? Thank you.
Guys, is anybody else seeing this?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on!
I guess. I
I
guess
think I'm
it's
getting
the same
similar
vibe.
vibes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I got similar vibes. I definitely get the similar vibes. I just don't know why I felt like it was a lot scary. Maybe it was a different trailer that I saw that was just meant to be.
Let's be real though. Regan is he gets so scared at
I
movies.
freaking hate scary movies.
He hates scary movies. He was holding my hand and he was like, "Oh my gosh, scary movies! I smell like
Yeah,
farts."
dude. It
Yeah,
freaking
he was literally
sucks.
like trying to hold my hand during that entire freaking time. But ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, that was a low key, high key. This was a good movie.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Matthew, for my rating, I think I definitely give it probably 4.5. Same with you. I think this is a good movie, Disney that they've needed for a long time. And I hope that the box office really shows that people like this movie, because I think the actors are tremendous. I mean, I want to give a big shout out to Chase Dillon, the kid actor. I think he is tremendous in this whole movie. I hound on it every freaking time, but it's a game changer of basically the child actors that they have in these movies. And Chase Dillon is phenomenal. I think he is one of my new favorite child actors because he really owned in his character and really presented to you that he's this dorky kid. And I think we need to protect him and make sure that he kind of grows up in a good life, because a lot of the child actors haven't been able to. And so I'm very impressed by him. Very impressed. So I'm really happy about that he was
Since
in
we're
this.
talking about actors and actresses, let's talk about freaking Isabel Dawson. Or excuse me, not Isabel Dawson. Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah.
Freaking in this movie, I think she was one of the weaker characters, if I'm being honest, when it comes to acting and performance. But good nonetheless. I think I'm more excited to know that she's going to be playing Ahsoka soon when we get the Ahsoka series. And so it was really cool to see her on the screen just before we get that TV show personally. Now I don't know how much that excites you, Regan, with her being Rosario Dawson, but she's going to be playing freaking Ahsoka. The big thing that I wanted to at least mention with this movie was that, man, this thing wasn't a freaking woke fest like every other freaking
Right.
Disney movie that's been popping off.
And
Like,
yeah.
There was a purpose for everything that they talked about.
Mhm.
Like, for an example, like they based the movie out of New Orleans. right? That's what they did. They based the movie out of New Orleans. They showed what culture is like in New Orleans. They showed the different things that New Orleans has to offer, right?
Mhm.
They didn't try to take a story and paint it as, just this woke crap agenda like Barbie did, for an example. Which, to
Yeah.
be honest with you, going into it, I was like, oh gosh, what wokeness, what crap are we gonna have to watch? What are we gonna subject ourselves to for the next 2 hours, right? Like that's
Right.
what
I
mean,
I thought the same thing. I thought that's what we were gonna go into is another Disney movie with their whole agenda of pushing, LGBTQIA the stuff. And that's mostly the things I'm concerned about with kids movies is what
Yep.
they're pushing on. And so that's what I thought they were gonna be pushing. And that didn't happen in here. That really, I think this was a very family-centered movie. Because they talk about the mom and the husband is gone out
passed
of the
away.
picture, but you don't know he's passed away. You don't really know, as well as the other main character. What's this? Ben Matthews or Lakeith
Matthews, yeah.
Stanfield. Also bravo to him. I think he's one of my new favorite actors. I think he has a very cool and distinct way, just a cool guy in his acting. I love it. I just love it. But yeah, it was very family centered, and to me that's what I've always thought of Disney as a family centered type industry, and they've changed that obviously over the years, but this is what I have been hoping for Disney to get back to since someday. But in other ways, Matthew, I do want to talk about this. I think it was, Disney is nuts. I think it was a money grab. And I talked to you about this afterwards because they know this is going to work for other audiences. They know this is going to work in suburban areas and all those areas. And it's going to just work pretty much everywhere. But there's we talked about this too, is that there's a lot of name drops, a lot of like Costco, Amazon, Walgreens, Walmart, Burger King. They mention these verbally and visually on screen, and it just kind of makes me think in a way that this was just a money grab for them. And it's kind of something that I'm like, I don't know. I hope they make more like this. I really do. But in other ways, it's just like, I know the evil. And so people will maybe are just trying to just, get enough money because of all the other things are failing and they need money more. They need more money. And, so that's where I am very kind of standoffish with this movie.
I look, and I think we agree to not disagree, but we partially agree and partially disagree. I think movies do this already, but this movie, let me backtrack here. So this movie in particular was very upfront with when the psychic lady, she would be like, hey, I got this thing from, I forgot to unsubscribe from my Amazon Prime. And she made it very obvious that she was subscribed to Amazon Prime, or that she made a Costco run and bought this stuff, or the Burger King was very apparent in the movie. And from knowing, hey, like companies do pay movies, pay production companies to implement their stuff into the movies. I do know it's it's already a thing, but to add it to the script, to add it to the movie, to make it a big thing, not a big thing, but make it more apparent than it usually is. That was kind of annoying. I wasn't a huge fan of that, right? Like, for an example, I used this example to Regan when I was explaining it, because at the time, for me, this is normal, right? Like, I realize and recognize that this is built for advertising. This is why they put this in the movie.
I get that.
Is we talk about Barbie for an example.
Mhm.
Barbie had the Mustang. The lady was driving the Mustang, and that was a advertising ploy for that Mustang. Because after the movie came out, now they had commercials about that Mustang, right? But it wasn't necessarily like they were saying, "Look at my Mustang," or "I just bought this Mustang GTX5," or whatever it is.
It could have been any
This
car
mo-
though.
It could have been any car. It could have been any car.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that was a big piece of the movie, and they made money because Ford made money because they had a commercial afterwards to entice people about the movie from the movie.
I don't think it was like a huge part of the movie because, like I said, they could have chose any car at any time, basically, except, I mean, during filming, they could have, I mean, until the actual.
But that was like a big part, like that was a big car in the movie.
It was, yeah, it was a very extinguished car for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like this is why we agree to agree partially and disagree partially, because from the advertising perspective, I understand that that Ford paid Barbie or whoever created the Barbie
Right.
movie to have their vehicle as the main vehicle for the lady in the movie, right? And do these action sequences and make it a very standoff vehicle, right? Because then it just makes sense, right? Because after it, we see commercials about the vehicle. We see that they label it from Barbie, right?
Yep.
That you can go to Google and type in the Mustang Barbie or whatever. It's a very normal thing in movies. But what this movie did that stood out from other movies is usually it's like a subtle thing that normal people don't realize that it's being it's being a upfront advertisement. Is that this one was like is they were like vocally advertising the business essentially. It made
Yeah.
it very awkward and that'd be like me pausing the podcast and being like, our sponsor today is Grubhub.
Well, that's
It's
and
not
that's-
exactly like that, but it was awkward enough to where people who have watched enough movies will realize that this shouldn't have been in the movie, and it was an awkward part to put that in.
And I get they have to. That's one way of them getting paid for this movie. Besides the box office, it's other companies coming in to put in their own advertisement, and it is a different way of advertising, 100%, because you'd never seen this before. With well, yeah, I guess I can't think of a movie where they were really verbally they were verbal about the advertisement about, and it wasn't like we're sponsoring this movie sponsored by, it was just like, I got my Amazon Prime, I got it canceled, or like, I love Burger King, let me eat my burger or whatever.
It was just so awkward. It was
Yeah,
awkward and unnecessary.
and that's yeah, and
movies have a beat, right? Like we all have a beat to where we talk. And when they add the advertisement, it took you off the beat of the movie for a second to talk about the thing, and then it got you back on beat. That's what it did.
Yeah, it's cheap entertainment, that's for sure. And
For sure.
But that's just kind of how another way of them making money off of the movie. And I get that. You can you want to make as much money as you can off of what you're making, so it's not a total dud. If this fails, they want to make sure that they make some type of money off of it.
I think Oppenheimer should have done more advertising like in the movie, because my heavens, the cast on that movie, there's no way anybody's getting paid more than
I agree.
mean, there's just no way people are going to get paid without upfront
There's
advertising.
so many actors on that one, and I don't know. I agree that they should have done a lot better at advertising that. I think there was more Barbie advertising. I mean, freaking look at Google. Google right now, if you go on Google, well, maybe not anymore, but before you'd go on Google, just to google.com, and it'd be the Barbie thing. Or if you just type in, is it going to do it? Yeah, if you go to and type in Barbie, you get all these little pink, like sparkly things all throughout your screen. And then you're like, well, I hope Oppenheimer has a ginormous bomb that explodes on my screen. But no.
I mean, Oppenheimer's made 400 million.
Really?
400 million global box office. Yeah. So I mean, they are making money unless producers have unless producers have cash and they can pay these people. But Oppenheimer had so many people. Isaac, it was. I don't know if Isaac watched it, but oh my heavens!
He said last time he hasn't saw it, but he might have changed it.
Oppenheimer had so many actors that, like, I think it would have been personally. And see, this is where I think us doing a podcast, it doesn't ruin movies for us, but it makes us think of movies and how movies are made differently. Because we think about the numbers outside of it. We think about, how does the advertising work? How does this work? Why do they do this? Right. And when we watch the movie, a normal person probably would have just watched the movie and not even thought about the advertising being thrown out there for no reason. Right. Like, a normal person would have been like, this is normal. There wasn't anything weird about it. But then for us, we're like, that just doesn't hit the right beat. It's just awkward and it just feels like a grab. But honestly, though, let's not complain about it, because we didn't get no woke crap that.
And that's why I give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
That I think it's high enough that I would definitely go back. I would definitely go back and watch this movie again, especially with my son. But I talked to him today, and he's like, yeah, that's for sure. Once you go woke, you become a joke. That's 100% sure.
Exactly.
But he said, I don't want to see that. I'm like, okay.
He should have gone with us, but he was gone.
He was. But that's all right. That's all right.
He would have loved it.
I think so too. I think it would have been a great movie. And if you guys really do want to go bring your children, it's Goof and Goober family friendly, certified.
The Goof and Goober stamped.
The Goof and Goober stamp. If we could have a freaking graphic right now with a stamp that says certified
stamp,
and we'd put it right here, and man, you guys be like, wow, this is so sweet. But yeah, that's I don't know. I did kind of want to talk a little bit, because this is one of the things I did want to talk about the deeper type. Yeah, GG underlay behind the certified. Yep, 100%.
Yep. Facts.
The GNG. Is it GNG or GG? Anyways, I don't know. It's up to you. Maybe that's what maybe Isaac should be our graphic designer,
our confidant.
But I kind of wanted to sit down with you and maybe think about a deeper meaning. Like, what is the main purpose, the moral behind this whole story? Because it was a good movie. It's a fun to watch movie. But there's a moral, I think, with Ben Matthias, or whatever you want to say. Having to deal with the struggle of losing his wife and then never believing in what she truly believed in, for basically trying to I think that's a foreshadow for him saying, I want to forget everything about you, because and not have to deal with the pain, because in some ways, as he is going through life after his wife's death, who was a ghost tour guide, and then he became a ghost tour guide, but then didn't believe in ghosts as she did. Do you think I think there's a deeper meaning there for people, I mean, watching this and trying to understand this, because if I'd like to dissect that. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of time that we can spend to dissect every little thing that I'd like to.
Yeah, I think I think we can relate it back to the almost like Christianity in some ways, right? Is like sometimes people believe different things, right? But the problem with this scenario is that his wife believed one thing, he didn't believe in the other, right? And so it comes down to like, obviously being equally yoked and what it takes to be equally yoked, right? Like it's easy for us as Christians or people who believe in the same thing, but it's much harder to be faithful in hard times, or be like on the same page in hard times if we don't believe in the same thing. And I think this movie's tough because it doesn't necessarily point in any direction of like, obviously, so we see that the main character, what was his name again?
Ben,
not Mathis.
Or do you
Was it
mean
Ben?
Gabby?
I'm talking about Ben. Okay, so
Yeah, Ben.
So we see Ben kind of go through this discovery phase, if you will, in his life, right? And it's only after everything happened did he finally realize that the answers have always been in front of him. He just hasn't realized it, if that makes sense. Like we talked about earlier, right? We talk about space. We talk about what is being created right now, and the things that are created and in front of our face. There's a purpose and there's a reason. Sometimes we just don't pay attention to that reason. Sometimes we look past the reason. We look past what the answers that are literally in our face right now. In some ways, right? Like for Christianity, is God created everything, and there is a creator, and there's people out there in this world that it's right in front of their face. The cat was in his face. The cat was at his door. The answers were right there, but he was so blinded by his own personal beliefs, his own personal ego, if you will, and it shed him away. Essentially,
because I think it goes back to that dark matter camera thing that he was making, and it failed him, and I think that he failed. I think that's what's hard even about pain, because you really have to get over yourself in some ways about pain. Because that's what the whole thing was, that he had to really get over himself and deal with the matter. Because like with the dark matter thing, I think what happened, because he was already caught up, like he was saying, he was caught up in with work and everything. He had no care on the outside world, and then his wife went out and got, I think it was a car accident or something like that.
Yep.
And then he blamed himself, and then his whole dark matter camera was a complete fail. And so dealing with that, there's a lot of foreshadow, especially with that cat. Because it's been on his doorstep waiting for him to accept the cat in.
To open the door.
Yeah, open the door and accept it in. And even when, like at the beginning scene, when Owen Wilson comes in with the cat, he's like, "That's not my cat," and he hasn't even noticed that the cat was there. And so but it's been there the whole time.
I think it's crazy. He brings up pain, but sometimes pain is, and this is my personal belief, and I know Jesse, I know Jesse definitely disagrees with that. That's a guy who's on our podcast, like episode 3, is that sometimes I think God puts pain in our lives to make us learn from the pain, right? Just like he did it to, mean, he did it to a ton of people in the Bible, or you know, people
Job.
had their own demise, and then they had to learn from their mistakes, or they
Jonah.
had to Jonah. You could name so many people, and that there was pain, there was problems, but the answers were there. They just had to discover those answers for themselves and realize that it's not their decision, it's not their choice, and nothing they could do could really make or change anything. It's really letting yourself go and letting God take control, essentially.
Yeah. Well, Jesse really, and I love Jesse and his dad and their church, but they are very vocal about preaching the prosperity gospel, and that if you do good and you believe with all your 100% of your heart, that Jesus is Lord, then everything you ever want will be given to you by God, and all you have to do is just ask him. Jesus, give me a jet, and the jet will show up. And
he's not here to defend himself on every point,
right.
But
I get that.
But I think I do agree with Isaac, is that I'm not saying God puts that in our lives, but he does. I do believe that he allows, because based off of our choices, he's going to let our choice take its course. He's going to let our choice, whether it's bad, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, he's going to let it take its course. And then he's going to use that as a learning, as a learning curve, or a learning point, or a point of redemption for everyone. I don't think God puts bad things in our lives. I think I misquoted myself or stated incorrectly when I said that. I think that's kind of what happened, is that this guy kind of did it to himself by, I think, even in dealing with our pain, what we do with it matters. What we do with it matters, exactly. It is a choice. It is a choice. So in the movie, he had the choice of dealing with this stupid camera, right? Dealing with this stupid camera and the failures of the camera, or going with his wife to go get tater tots. That was the dilemma.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds stupid, but the concept of it, but when she went out, she got tater tots by herself. He didn't say, I love you or anything. And she passed away. Now, at that point, because of, he could have passed away too. Something could have happened. Who knows? But now at that point, he needs to use that as a learning curve. And I think that was the message of the movie, is that always choose the tots. Hey, Napoleon, where'd you get those tots?
I was trying to watch that last night. I was like,
but the purpose of the movies, I think it's redemption. I think is what it is. Redemption, in discovering a new way.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd be willing to guess that there's going to be another Haunted Mansion.
I hope so. I really do. That because it was good enough that I think it should get a revamp. But yeah. Beth, you got anything else you would like to add to this?
Go freaking see the movie, guys.
Yeah.
It's a I don't know if we can say very much. Oh, Trevor commented on our YouTube. Sure, there is my girl. I love you, Scarlett. Papa waving at you. Oh, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, great grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go check out Haunted Mansion. It was a good one. Dad, you showed up late. I'd say go watch it. It's not a woke movie. I know you hate woke movies. It's not a woke movie. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Got a couple scary points, nothing crazy, but it was a good movie. And I definitely highly recommend it. Other than that, I don't really have anything else, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
any
good.
Hauls? You got any hauls?
Any hauls? Do I have any freaking hauls?
Weekly hauls?
Dude, I don't have any freaking hauls.
Typical.
Other than
I did just buy. So Axel, my son, loves this new game. Well, we haven't gotten it yet. We're about to try it out. but it's called Monster. What is it called? Madness. It's like a playing card game. And I haven't tried it out yet. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. It should be arriving tomorrow. Monster Madness, yeah, and Dungeon Mayhem. It's like a D&D thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious. I don't know if I like the comedian Father Owen Wilson. I freaking loved him.
What? How did you not like it? He was one of the best parts of the movie. He was hilarious.
Truly was.
He was a liar. He was a liar, though. That was the problem.
But guys, thank you so much for listening to the Goof and Goober Show. We are so glad you are listening wherever you are. If you are listening and you loved what you hear, consider thinking of dropping a like and a follow or subscribing, and possibly leaving a comment of what you liked, what you didn't like, because Matthew and I, we're just kind of winging it and swinging it. Winging and
we thrive
swinging.
on criticism.
Yes. So if you could help us out in that, and if you made it this far, thank you so much. And we love you guys. And we're so glad you are here. And God's love will not be canceled, as Matthew's shirt says. That will conclude our episode 28. We're almost at episode 30. My word. Goodness
Tell him the
gracious.
math. Tell him the math. Tell him the freaking math.
The freaking math is right now, we are in probably the top 5% of freaking podcasts right now.
Ever
created of all podcasts, because most podcasts can't even make it after 3 episodes. And we're on episode almost 10 times that, dude. We're almost freaking 10 times that. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a feat to say we're in the top 5. You know? Probably I mean probably 2.5 now, you know. Some people probably, I mean, I guess after you get past maybe the 15th episode, you're like, well, we just got to do it.
Say that without your sword.
Screw you guys.
He
gonna
thought
get
he had his
wrecked.
freaking wisdom teeth. Oh,
I thought I had to get my wisdom teeth. I was gonna be like wrecked for the freaking
Idiot.
pod today. I probably should get my wisdom teeth removed. But in this whole situation kind of makes me think I just want them removed, but whatever. But guys, thank you so much for listening. It's been a great episode. Your boys will be back next week. Well, just one of the GAGs with a special guest. You guys come down. Let's have a good time. We will see you guys. Oh, wait.
Next week, Monday, 8 o'clock, Central Standard Time. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube
Oh, my
channel.
canker sore. Oh.
Easy does
Why
it,
don't
Tiger.
you check out our Instagram page at the Goof
Nick
and
sent
Goober
us
Show for even more content. Drop a follow. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.